Hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. With 4 race starts, we're going to start with our Category 4 riders, then 3, 2 and 1. Our riders lined up in yellow, that is our Category 1 riders. In green, our Category 2. In blue, Category 3. And Category 4 in red.
Pushing it over 7 watts per kilo. Now, he's not going to win the race by this move, but he is going to start the split of the Category 4 pack. Take a look at the stretch on the group behind, because the really big stretch on the Category 1 race field. One rider's just dropped off, and this is an early attack, 6.9 kilometres into this race. Nearly 10 seconds now for Norrin in that Category 1 race. This is the Category 2 race, and there's a push coming here as well. 3 riders pushing clear now, nearly 10 seconds as well here.
Category 3 and 4 world, well, it's a world of leading groups of riders rather than individual breakaways. Now into the descent, you have got to stay in the wheels. You really have to hold on tight here. A little bit of a kicker as we come out from the knife edge summit to compress the group back down again, but it will split open once again. Well, he's shaking the foundations, he's on the move. Mr. X100 attacks going through the group, and he's got a gap here. He's opened 4 seconds up very quickly indeed. The Category 2 riders have seen that, and they want to get on his wheel.
6 seconds now for Dadson and Cridland as they continue to tap their way on the pedals up this hillside. Category 3 on the left-hand side of your screen, well, they are sweeping in behind as they are now on the final section of the climb. Take a round of applause, Jonathan Cridland. Phenomenal climbing today to ride away from Dadson in the Category 4 race. He looks up, he sees that UCI banner. Cridland is going to come across the line. Cridland takes the win.
Hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. It's Qualifier Race number 3, our final qualifier in February before next week's finals. My name's Matt Payne. I'm here in the studio bringing you all of the action with Emma Martin. Emma, we've just seen an amazing women's race that everybody really wants to go back, if only for the very final run for the line. Do you think it'll be as exciting in a men's race today?
Oh, well, the men are heading to Belgium, Matt. And last time it was a sprint in Cat 1, 2 and 3. The only category that there was no sprint for the win was in Category 4.
Well, let's take a look. Emma, can you take us through the course, which is a very complicated one today?
Well, complicated it may be, but 45 kilometres, 492 metres of climbing. And you can see from our little rider there, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. He's having hard time getting across the screen there. So today, first climb comes at 6 kilometres into this 45 kilometre course. It's called Keir. It's the longest climb at 3.9 kilometres. We then head to the Valkenberg, the Eichenberg, the Quermont and the Pattenberg, our final climbed segment. But there is another climb up to the checkered flag. It's a classic course.
It is a classic course as we head into classic season. Watch out for the climbs that are not part of those categorized climbs. So 4 categories going to take to our race start. Category 1 in yellow, Category 2 in green, Category 3 in blue, and our riders in Category 4 are in red. They are the riders to start first 5 minutes between categories 3 and 4 in their own world. And if you're watching last week, you'll know that categories 1 and 2 are in their own parallel world, and never shall the two meet. Now, the teams in category 4, we have the Anzac. Scott Francis has been leading a rider. Can he do it again this time round? Upcycled have Enrico Quadrali, Frederick Schoberg, Mathias Carmen, and Xavier Maillard. The upcycled squad, they have been on the up. Can they take it out today? There is a big pack of riders, and we're going to dive into those in depth in a second. Let's see if we can get our riders away all in one go. And will they do the traditional Category 4 race start? That's because they are known to explode out of the gun like an absolute firework. So here we go. We're away. It's the start of qualifier number 3. It's category number 4. We have 45 kilometers, 492 meters, and more climbs than you can shake a stick at here in Belgium. Will they be able to get this dialed? Will it be Fritz and mayonnaise at the finish? Or will they be languishing in some sort of cyclocross muddy bog at the finish, not unable to move? We're going to find out already, seeing 1 or 2 riders in trouble from the start here. And that means that they're going to have their work cut out to get back into the group. Marcus Brito, though, coming out like an absolute rocket there on the front in the yellow cap, really winding it up. He's known for a quick start. He's going for it at the moment at 6 watts per kilo. He wants to wind this up, Emma.
Well, winding it up and getting the pace going is one thing. Pushing on off the front this early is another. When you have the 7 climbs that these riders have ahead of them. So 5 of those climbs are categorized today. 5 of those climbs with segments where we will see the times, but technically there are 7 climbs on this course. The Eichenberg Hill is not classified and not a segment today, but comes directly before the Eichenberg climb. And then there is also the climb to the finish line. So this has 7 climbs, this course. It is technical, it is up, it is down. It is absolutely key that the riders are with the pack at the top of each climb today.
So Marcus Brito off the front at the moment, winding this up. Let's take a look at that pack, Emma. We've got, I mean, it's a big field.
It is. 46 riders on the start sheets today in Cat 4.
There's a lot of draft available if you can stay in the group. If it stays together, it's already breaking. We've seen Brito go off the front. We saw 1 rider off the back. But when we look in depth at that field, this course, if you multiply that by the riders we've got, this could be really, really difficult for anybody to take the win because there's so much talent. Give us some names to watch out for.
Well, there is indeed a lot of talent in this pack today. Mark Dadson took 2nd place last week to Jonathan Cridland. Both of those riders in the mix today. Pino is here. Newman is here. Newman rode really well last week to finish in 3rd. But Montoya is here. Cronje is here. He's ridden really well. So is Aaron and Rooney. Dromard is in the mix here too today, as well as Finati. Cameron Dadson here too. So it's going to be really interesting. Well, take a look at that. I was talking about Cameron Dadson, but Mark Dadson is the rider who has crossed over to join Brito. So Dadson, he's an aggressive rider, Matt. We regularly see him on the move.
And all of the riders that you were mentioning there, I mean, we've got riders who regularly are up there in the top 5, who are up in the prize money, who are regularly racing, and they all have to be ready for this fast start because Category 4 are known for that. Well, in the men's race.
They are. Category 4 are known for that in the men's race. And, they do tend to really go off the gun quickly. Now we're in with Mark Dadson on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, and you can see he's watching the race and really intent on what is going on, but a huge fan in front of him, and he's going to be needing that fan today. So Valencia, Detroit, Cadabona, Dadson, Brito, all at the front of this race and continuing to push on in Category 4. Now, last time we were in Belgium, it was Arrego who took the win from Horsley, from Columbari, from Nowak and Largo. A number of those riders have progressed to Category 3, so a much wider open field today.
And we can see our Category 3 lined up. And as Category 4 make the way through Ghent City, the Category 3 is a monstrously big race field. It is huge field. So this might take a little bit of time when we get to them. First of all, let's deal with our teams. Italian Espresso, fueling Means Espresso today, fueling the Italian Espresso team. We will see if they've got it on decaf or full caffeinated version. Alessio Caligula, Andrea Montallo, Manella in there. We've got Luca Balla and Paolo Cusimano. Always aggressive racing from them. Jaco Alula, Brett McMurtry, big name McMurtry when it comes to racing on MyWhoosh. You got the WTBR MyWhoosh Brazil squad in here. Osmar Vaz going to be their key man here today in level racing, represented by Thierry Bersedi, who is going to be in the action as well. So we have a big field. We're going to have to go into it in depth in a minute because it is absolutely packed full of talent. It looks like they're about ready.
They are indeed, as we're in with Adriano Zanasca as the final seconds count down. The blue jerseys, well, they are away for the final qualifier on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club in February. They are out of the pen. It's a huge race field today. 62 riders on the start sheets today. I don't think all of them are on the start line, but a huge number of them are. Dutches here, Kaplan, Oviedo, Neville, Ross, Squilari, Cansara. All of these riders really with some great form at the moment. Luke Allport is in here today. James Mountier, Jack Staples, Hassan Al-Ramethri is here. Eben Swart is here. Dexter Abello, Daniel Cadiz. We've talked about Didutch already. Albin Bogren is on the start sheets as well today. Now, Ola Warren here too. Kochkev, Demanuan, Kirchner. I could just keep going because of the depth of talent in Category 3.
It's great to see riders being signed up. Luke Allport just signing up. If you don't know where and why, jump on board, get on the social media and follow Luke Allport. I'm not surprised he signed up. He's a great rider. He's a great character. You see him attacking from the gun. And again, Category 3 here, aggressive racing. This is a pancake flat start. Yep. There are no hills. There's not even a canal bridge. There's nothing. There's not a speed bumper, a sleeping policeman. There's not a curb edge in sight. There's nothing. Yeah, that's an old-fashioned phrase for some traffic calming, a sleeping policeman. It's like they're laid down. You have to retard your speed as you go over them.
All I can hope is that there are no policemen lying down on the road for people to drive over.
I don't know if there's any policemen actually racing in our men's field. I bet there is.
I bet
given the volume of riders.
I bet there must be someone from law enforcement.
If you are involved in law enforcement, don't tell us what agency or what you're with, but just let us know. We won't put it out on this show, because obviously I'm sure you probably want to, or you may not want to keep that to yourself. But
do the number of law enforcement beat the number of teachers?
Oh, now that is a really Emma-sized stat, is that? So if you want to help Emma have yet more stats to crunch and the Full Speed Events database, have another column added to the already very expanded and incredibly large database we have on our riders, let us know. All information gratefully received, as the
and confidential.
Goes. Yes, do tell us.
Unless you let us know.
Yeah, let us know if you want to share it, if you're happy for it to be shared or not. Now, Category 3 race field, Emma. This is huge. It's a big field here today. Massive draft available, massive speed available. Lose the group, you're in trouble. We're seeing aggressive riding off from the start. Paolo Cusimano here for the Italian Espresso squad. He's looking pretty comfy and pretty calm here at the minute. He's looking like he's just chatting away with the teammates. They just keep in control. Let's talk this through. Let's make sure this goes. This communication, when you've got 62 riders on the start line, that is really key.
Yeah, it is indeed. And that's what teammates are all about, because the communication between the squad's really important in terms of tactics. You know, you put a rider down the road. We're seeing a rider go down the road at the moment. You know, you don't want your teammates to chase. You want your teammates to hold the pack back so that your rider gets a good ride clear. So it is about communication and the value of teams and teamwork and being in a team and forming a bond. Absolutely crucial.
Well, let's see if it is going to be a chase from teammates up at the front. It looks like at the moment. Allport and Rimburg have got the 12-second gap there. The riders already round this corner on the straight, just in front, though, of Eben Schwartz, the rider we're in with. It looks like that is going to be Damien, who is leading this out at the moment. But will he be able to stay clear? Kirstowski, the rider with that green sprint jersey and shorts that identify him as the leader on the points in Category 3 on the left of your screen.
On the right-hand side of your screen, take a look at that. That is the polka dot banner. And our Category 4 riders have now hit the first climb, a Category 4 climb. It is the Qualifier. It's the longest climb at 3.9 kilometres. It's got an average gradient of 2.5%. But that is deceptive.
Yes, that would be, if you looked at the numbers, that would not tell you the story. You need to think about the shape of the hill as well as the data on there. Now, I'm all about how it feels to ride. And how this hill feels to ride is it gets steep. It gets even steeper.
It gets 17%.
And then you go into part 2 because you drop down. Now, you can see top right-hand side of Mark Dadson's screen as he's attacking on the screen at the moment and causing everybody to go into the red here. Top right-hand side is the course profile. That's the white line. You can see it goes up, but then it drops down. Well, it drops down even more than that, not all that far after. There's a step, and then it drops steeply. It then climbs again and gets even steeper to the actual summit. This shape of hill is hard to ride in a group if you're answering the pace of others. So I think that's one of the reasons we're seeing these moves attacking going nice and early. So we're going to see how they get on this climb. So the rider's starting to stretch out on the climb. So they're now on the way. Let's watch them as they hit this slope. They're coming into this left-hand bend. So our riders on to this climb. Group braking here under the pressure. Category 4 stretching. You can see on the left-hand side of your screen, we're at 6.9 kilometers. We've done 29 meters of climbing, now 30. But the group, the packs are splitting. This is the leading group. They are at the top of that chain of red dots that you can see working its way up the Qualifier. And at the moment, this is a very, very hard pace. We're in Matheus Kalman as Enrico Quadrelli goes on the move at the front, and Kalman has to answer this. You can see him chasing onto the wheel of Quadrelli, who disappears off the bottom of our screen. He's going so fast, he's going out of camera shot, and he really is digging in deep here. Tim Connell right up in the mix. Montoya there, Tortoretto, Jeff Rooney racing really, really well at the moment. He's a rider on form. Will Jeff be able to make some of the play, make some of the moves here? We're on our very first climb of 7. We're in with Rafael Montoya, who's got an absolutely fantastic Mondrian-inspired jersey on there. That is one of the best jerseys we've seen so far, if not the best jersey we've seen so far on the cameras covering our riders. And Rafael Montoya out of the saddle, you can see really stamping down on those pedals, pushing that power down and through as he tries to answer the move on the front. He's sitting inside the top 15 at the moment. 6.5 watts per kilo coming out from Montoya on the climb. We're taking the right hand turn, this step climb. This is so faithful to the Qualifier out in Belgium. If you haven't been, do go have a look at this classic course where Rafael Montoya is stamping his way up here. The chain is already starting to break apart here on climb number 1 with Category 4, the first of our categories of riders to hit this climb, and the pressure being put on by Arrego, by Tortoretto, by Columbari, by Quadrelli. Arrego in here, Cridland's in here, our winner from last week. These are key riders. They're all up on the front and they are pressurizing. They're on the right hand side of your screen. 2K back. Well, it is our Category 3 riders, and at the moment, you can see that Rindborg and Allport are clear of Damien Kirstowski. Kirstowski is the rider we are in with Eben Schwartz as company. They are 13 seconds, 14 seconds ahead of the main chasing pack. You can see those riders behind, but the leaders are in front. The leaders, in fact, just about to go underneath the banner. So Allport and Rimborg are underneath the banner and onto the climb. Kistaki as well as Svort are chasing, but these are your leaders. Rimborg goes over the top here of Olpor onto the climb, and these two riders, they mean business today. They're really pushing hard as they come on to the Kortekia for the first time. Remember, we do the Kortekia, this two-stage climb, then the Valkenberg, then it's the Eichenberg, then we have the Kortekia climb and the Paterberg. They're your 5 categorized climbs, but we do have 2 other climbs in there. So categories 3 and 4 are away in their own world. In a parallel and identical world, it's categories 2 and 1. Our category 2 riders lined up on the start now. Some great teams in here. We've got the UAE Falcons, Ahmed Al-Tanaji, as well as Zayed Hamdan, always in here for the Falcons, representing their team. And then we have a full-on bag of wattage riders. So we have the wattage Warlocks, we have the wattage Wizards, and we have the wattage Race. The various spooky spirits are going to be taken to the start. So we've got Betty Mendakowitz, Vanhi El Alami, Bengström, Kranich, Donta, Hernandez, Juki, and Obitko. They're going to be taking the wattage Warlocks, Wizards, and Race away. Let's see if they can do the magic here today. Can they weave a spell on our riders as Category 2 get underway? It's time to see whether or not they have consulted their book of spells. Can they be the ones to set the pace, to set the tone? Will they be writing the final chapter, or will it be a newcomer? The man on the attack, it looks like Phil Graves is leading it out at the moment now. Phil Graves, international triathlete, superstar of Yorkshire, making his way down. A man who the streets will be named after him around Tadcaster and York one day. He's making his way down the straight. He's leading this out. And at the moment, is this going to be a road to nowhere? Because they are coming back very, very fast. Milostic and Kano have gone straight on the heels. They're wise to Graves' tactics here, and I think they want to be in him. Let's see, can he continue to push onward? So round they come. They're taking this left-hand turn. Graves in here with Milostic. Spratt is chasing here behind.
Oh, come
he wants
on!
to come across here. We haven't even got into the rest of the riders here, Emma. I mean, it's a big pack here. We've gone through the teams, and we've got Hubbards with Walter Clays in here. We've got the wattage Race, the race with Spina Hernandez, Juki, and Obitko. The wattage Wizards with Bengström, Kranich, Mayer, and Don. We've got the wattage Warlocks with Betty Mendakowitz, Van here, and El Alami in here. Let's just talk about, before we get onto the wattage teams, because there is quite a lot to talk about them as well. The crew. Let's talk about the rest of the riders in here. We see Phil Graves up here. We see Nicholas Spratt on the attack. Yep. We're seeing these being answered. If I asked you for all your favourites in terms of who could win on here, well, you probably just read me the list. Pick some of them out. You're going to have to narrow this down a bit, I think.
Can I just tell you that when we were here in December, it was 2 seconds separating the top 5 riders in this category. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was Mendakowitz, Graves, Simmons, Spratt, and Ospina. 2 seconds between those 5 riders. So there you go. That's my top 5 today.
Okay.
I think we're going to replicate.
We're going to replicate this. It's going to be a duplication of previous ones. Well,
so I have to say, there are some other riders on some phenomenal form in here. So I may well be wrong. In fact, Cam Winfield is in here as well. I think the young rider's going well.
Van He is a great example. Yep. He's so strong. Ruben Dunt, super aggressive, really good. Walter Clays is good when it's an attacking race. It could be his. I mean, come on, we're in Belgium.
We are in Belgium. Well, yeah.
In fact,
and look at
Olivier
that.
Simmons.
He is actually resplendent there in the picture that we've got of him. And who wouldn't want to win in Belgium when you are from Belgium on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club?
And wearing the Belgian colours across your skin suit there on the smart bike, out of the saddle, kicking on through with this leading group as they come through the Ghent City
I
sprint.
tell you what, they are motoring. Matt Simmons here with Trojanowski, Milostic, Gates, Dont, Kano, Graves, all out the front of this, and they are just piling the pace on.
Marcin Trojanowski is very, very strong. He's very, very tough. He's good on a course like this as well. It's kind of a problem, but it's a really, really nice problem to have. We have so many strong riders in the race fields, in the race, that can attack, that can go hard, that can really put the pressure on and can answer that.
Yep.
And it means that when we've got a course like this, what always amazes me, this is one of the flattest race starts.
It's 6 kilometres of
nothing.
Pan flat course. They cannot feel those cobbles underneath their wheels. It is pan flat for 6K and category 2, attack after attack.
Well, can category 1 make it as exciting? We will see. The top category here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. We've got some amazing teams joining us. Coalition Alpha squad. David Talbot, Lionel Vujasic, Michael Kaminsky and Ollie Jones. The human squad. Well, Daniel Ratto. I'm waiting for him to make that breakthrough and really take away a top spot here. Paint Toasted with Arne Jacobs. So we've got Jakob Bjorklund, Jody Jochems and Michael Plantero. And of course, the mighty UAE clan team. We've got SS, Pablo Popovic, Mr. X100. We've got Michael Knudsen. And we have the return of the Vink.
The return of the Vink. Well, there's a song title for you if you ever heard one. Ollie Jones is in the mix for Coalition Alphajaw. He's in the MyWhoosh studio today, Matt. So that should be good. But that Coalition Alphajaw squad, so strong. Vujasic and Kaminsky taking 1-2 in Belgium last time we were here. From Osborne, from Norren, from Plantero. I think it's going to be a little bit mixed up today, but I seriously would not discount the Coalition Alphajaw squad for being right in the mix.
Definitely not ones to miss out. When you look at this, for me, the two big teams in here, and Paint Toasted will forgive me for this, but you look at the people who have put in the performances to win and to regularly take top fives. You've got Coalition Alphajaw and you've got the UAE clan team with those riders. And interesting to see the UAE clan team coming back up to full strength with Michael Vink. So it really, really interesting to see how hard they are going. Now, we're going to take a look at the Paint Toasted squad because we have Jody Jochems, we have Arne Jacobs and Jakob Bjorklund on our screen. Now, you've got a Netherlands rider in there. We've got Arne Jacobs in. We've got Jakob Bjorklund. So we've got riders from the northeastern side of Europe as well and on that coastline. But I'll tell you something, those three riders look very comfortable to me. They look like they were fairly easy. Are we seeing category 1 actually being the group that have come out maybe with the least aggressive race start?
Well, yeah, I think category 1 have come out with their racing heads on. They've got their brains switched on, their heads engaged, minds and hearts on the bikes today, because that's what it's going to take to tackle Belgium, Matt, and that's definitely what it's going to take to win this category 1 race, because the phenomenal people and the phenomenal riders who are here, and take a look, you can see Ollie Jones and Phil Graves down in the MyWhoosh studio. There's a bit of a wave going on there.
Morning Phil, morning Ollie. It's good to see them in action. You can see them side by side. What I like about these two, well, this could be very interesting because you've got two different categories in there. So they're going to be in different stages of the race. Now, are they going to be cheering each other on if the other one is actually on a move? Or are they going to be able to remain focused on what they're doing? I think that actually has another dimension to it. Can they stay focused? Can they stay on that? Or are they going to be distracted by being alongside each other in two different
Never
categories?
Be distracted. They are two professional athletes. They are not going to be distracted by what is going on next door to them.
So as top flight athletes, they are being tested as part of the verification process. Now, I know you've been talking to Ollie Jones. When we go back to his cameras next, Emma, will you take us through some of the things that we know he's been up to?
Yep, can do indeed.
If you missed that because you're busy watching some of the racing, then don't forget we've got lots of great videos coming up for you. Make sure that you subscribe to the MyWhoosh YouTube channel. If you're not already watching on there, give it a subscribe. Jump on board on Twitch TV Live. You get to see all of the action. You'll get to see SS on the attack. We are into the Ghent City Sprint. Yeah. It is sprint number 1. No surprises that SS has gone for this. Mr. X100 is going with him here. And now we see two riders from the UAE clan team who always have a plan on the move.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised whether we see this now as an attack from SS and X100. They have been known, well, the UAE clan team have been known to utilise those sprints to just sort of mask an attack. And SS there putting in the fastest time through the Ghent City sprint, 22 seconds, nearly flat. A full second ahead of Ruben Dont from the Wattage Wizards, setting the fastest time in Cat 2. X100, the only other rider from Category 1 in the mix. The rest of that top 9, all that Category 2 pack who are chasing Dont.
Interesting mix as well. You've got Dont, you've got Simmons, you've got Clays, Kane in here, Villadega in as well, Van Haren, Gallo. That mix of riders that are in there are good. And they're splitting these two riders from the group behind. I think Mr. X100, we know, considered a really good pace. And these explosive type of hills are not necessarily his speciality as much as maybe some of the other riders in the group. So I think what's happening, he's wanting to make it hard all the way. He doesn't want it to be easy, 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 boom, easy, easy, boom.
Well,
he wants it to be all the way there.
And I think that's the plan from the UAE clan team. You know, they've got a full squad today. Knudsen, Fink, X100, Popovic and SS. X100 and SS here out front at the moment, pushing on, keeping the pace high. They're 7 seconds clear, Matt, you know, and it's going to be really interesting. Now, I do know Michael Knudsen from the UAE clan team did an epic ride yesterday. It's going to be really interesting to see how his legs fare today. A 10-hour plus ride yesterday, 232 kilometres.
How
that
many?
That has got to hurt.
Say those numbers again.
10 plus hours, 232 kilometres. Michael Knudsen, when he goes up these climbs today in Belgium, his legs, well, if they were mine, they'd be screaming.
You know, you can get therapy instead of just going out and writing that much. And do you know what? That's really going to upset people. 99999, whatever.
It was a lot of climbing.
Meters. But it's not a round number, and that's really going to upset some people out there now.
It's a lot of climbing.
The interesting move here by Zapata to make the bridge. He's bridged across from the bunch, who are now at, wait for this, 12 seconds. 12 seconds behind. We're now going to have 3 riders in front. We are at 4.1k. Remember, the start of the quarter gear comes at 6k. We are only just up and racing, and already these riders are really starting to put the hammer down.
Well, I'll tell you something, they are banking on the fact that they are going to pull these riders back once they start to get to the climbs. The quarter gear is going to be the moment of truth, because are they going to be able to bring back SS and X100 and Zapata now on the quarter gear? If they can establish a big enough gap, holding the pace and the power they can, it's going to be interesting. It may be that they can stay clear for a little while longer, you know, but the chase is seriously on. This is a huge pack. So Montoya, Panizza, Jones, Kroll, Plantero, Knudsen, Darn, all in the mix here. They're doing the chasing. But on the climb at the moment, it's Spratt, Trojanowski and Obito from Cat 2 that have now put the gap in on the rest of the Category 2 pack.
They're coming to the summit. Part 1 done and dusted. They're going over the top. You can see the chase coming from the last stick at the moment. You've got Graves, Ritter and Bjarhead. I wonder if Graves is looking quite so cool, calm and collected at the moment now that we are over part 1. They're going to be chasing down as they go down in towards part 2 of this climb of the quarter gear, a classic climb in the Flanders race.
Yeah, and take a look at that. That was what was really interesting. That was the first 3 riders go over the top, backed off a little. Millerstick didn't back off, stayed at 5 watts per kilo on the downhill, making the front 3 push and have to push again. They tried to take a bit of a deep breath. They tried to come off of the power, and they realised they couldn't, because if they did, there'd be a catch and a 4th member of that leading group.
And the group behind in 5th downwards are closing. It's looking to me, I think they're gonna come back across. I expect to see this group to come together as they hit the pace of part 2 of this
The power
climb.
of the pack will bring them back.
Yeah, they've got that power. They've got the momentum. They've got the advantage that when the leading group hit the climb, they're going to slow off. because you go fast down the downhill, you hit the climb, the pace comes off, the guys behind are going to come charging in. That is how it is going to work. Now, you can see in Category 1, they're already at the base of the climb. Well, our leaders are. That is SS, Mr. X100 of the UAE clan team, and Alberto Zapata, who makes his way across, the Colombian, who is the rider who's going to bridge. He made that move at the right time. He's onto their wheels, and they now have nearly 30 seconds. Nearly 30 seconds.
Well, nearly 30 seconds clear. That's a long way of a gap in the Category 1 race. It gives them a huge amount of sliding room here in this race today. So Dahn, Jones, Knudsen, Popovic, Panizza, Van Elst, Bjorklund, Jochems, Van Elst, Kroll, all in the mix here. In fact, Safrazadi as well. And you can see the concentration there on his face as the gradient just starts to kick. It's just starting to go up. Well, I'll tell you something, it's going to get a lot steeper.
It is, and he's a rider that is a multi-discipline rider. I mean, he rides not just esports, but mountain bike, road. We see him taking the honours all over the place. And he's a rider who really does combine. I mean, it's not easy jumping from one discipline to another, but he's jumping across and doing it in style.
But I'm loving the trophy cabinet behind him.
Yes. Yes, there's some serious bling behind
there.
There
is indeed. Well, the bling is motivating Saeed as he continues to push on. He's part and parcel of the group. We can see on the screen in front of us the gradient 4.5% under their wheels and getting steeper as they continue to push up the first climb. Now, that is the Kortekeer, used in 1988 for the very first time in the Tour of Flanders. Well, it's being used here in 2024 on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club.
Do you know what I'm looking forward to?
What?
A certain Tadej Pogacar on Flanders. If he's riding Flanders, that is going to be exciting because that's going to be really good. The UAE Emirates rider, the most exciting rider in the world at the moment, up against maybe the best cross rider in the world ever, Mathieu van der Poel, plus Wout van Aert, plus a cast of thousands, no doubt. That's going to be really, really interesting. Our riders today replicating some of those climbs here today on MyWhoosh. MyWhoosh, of course, the UCI esports partner for 2024, 25 and 26. I'm looking forward to those World Championships. And we can see a lot of our riders that we're seeing on our screens, whether in Category 4 or Category 1. You can see them making the way around what is this incredibly difficult course here in Belgium.
Well, last time we were in with Category 4, we did see Mark Dadson part and parcel of an early attack. But take a look, Matt, 19 kilometres into this race. They're on the Valkenburg climb. They're nearly towards the top of it, 1.3 kilometres, average gradient of 4.3. These riders getting towards the top of the Valkenburg. It's a huge group of Category 4 riders all together at 19 kilometres into this 45-kilometre race.
And remember, of course, they set off some 20 minutes in front of Category 1. Michael Kaminski leading up on the charge. They've pulled back Mr. S100. They pulled back SS. They have got the escapees, but not everybody has managed to stay in that pursuit. Now, Mikhail Kaminski looking smooth. He's in his traditional. He's got his earbuds in. He's got that MyWhoosh jersey on to get the maximum breeze. We know that he's a smooth, smart, fast operator. One of the Coalition Alphajor squad. Very, very strong riding from them. And they really could be the squad to beat on this course, given the terrain. Yeah. But maybe not the rider to beat, because we have got, I mentioned it at the start of the show, the return of the Vink.
Well, have you seen Michael Vink on the...
I haven't, and that is what's slightly worrying me.
On the start sheets, but I don't think I've seen him in the race taking to the start line today. So sometimes riders putting in a start... entry to hit the start sheets, but they're not taking to the line for whatever reason possible.
It could be. Do you know what? He could be riding around at the back. That would make me very happy.
Would it?
It would, yeah. That Michael Vinky's having a day off, having a coffee and an ice cream, and just having a nice poodle round.
People not having a day off, it's got to be
No.
Coalition Alphajaw, because they've got to think this has got to be theirs. Because last time out, it was Kaminsky from Vujasin. That was a switch around from the week before when it was Vujasin and Kaminsky. Kaminsky finished in second place last week, Vujasin in sixth. We know they are on form. And we also know that Ollie Jones, who we've seen in the MyWhoosh studio already today, you know, a rider again on form, riding really, really strongly this month. He had a 4th in qualifier 1 and a 5th last week. So all of that Coalition Alphajaw squad riding strongly.
Now we can see Ollie Jones and Phil Graves in here. It's not just random riders that we're seeing coming down into MyWhoosh HQ, because they're all part of a process, which is to check how they're going. We just were in with Phil Graves, who's squeezing on over the top of the climb here. And they are currently at 12.5k. Basically, this is heading across the plateau. They're going to make their way through past the Thistlehoven Molen Sprint, the windmill sprint, basically, in Dutch, as they make their way down. Jones and Graves in, and basically they've been down there doing some verification of numbers, as well as making sure that they can do the numbers. It does give some interesting results, doesn't it?
It does. Ollie Jones and I have been having a little chat this week.
Now, if you are going to go down, if you're invited down, please, guys, let us know and tell us if you are happy. Tell us your numbers and put them out there. We'd love to share it with people and show just how amazing our riders are. So you've got some numbers, I think, Emma.
I do indeed. So Ollie Jones, for those people who are interested, after bearing in mind from the southern hemisphere.
Okay.
So 24 hours of travel to get to the MyWhoosh HQ. Power profile tests, well, 586 watts for 3 minutes.
Okay.
462 watts for 12 minutes.
Wow.
And his pre-fatigue 2-minute test.
Yep.
626 watts.
For 2 minutes.
Now we know he's got such a strong drive, and he's been racing so strongly on the MyWhoosh platform recently this year. We've seen him do lone breakaways. We've seen him push on an attack in latter stages of the race. Now we know why.
Yeah, because of that timing, and he's right up at the front in here with Christoph Grohl, who's making his way. This is a very elite pack of riders here who are making their way over the top. They've come over the top of the quarter gear. Here are the stats. We say the short climbs in Belgium. That's exactly what you're getting. So Ollie Jones going over in 4th place there, 1.421 seconds down on Lionel Vujasin, his teammate. Ollie Jones doing 5.8 watts per kilo, or the equivalent of 419 watts average for the 6 minutes 32 over there, which will align him up with that power passport, that profile, and having people down to MyWhoosh doing that power passport, all part of the world leading verification process that is necessary for the Sunday Race Club.
And also, let's just also mention that it's not just about verification. It's about the fact that our esports riders here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club are the top of the tree. They are world-class esports, e-cycling riders. And actually, HQ are learning as much from their power tests about the quality and the profile of an esports racer, as much as it is about verification and testing the riders and their numbers.
Yep, and I have to say, I know we do emphasise on the show that Emma is a very stats and data driven person, but I have to admit I do geek out on the numbers as well, and looking at the differences in those riders. Now, let's not forget that one of the key reasons to race and race hard is to be winning. It's not just about taking part. And to win, well, that needs rewarding. And part of MyWhoosh making esports more professional and driving it towards bringing us these amazing athletes and getting the best out of them, well, that is that incentive. It's not stick, it's definitely carrot, because the prize money is substantial. Prize money across All 4 categories. It's equal in men's and women's races. Now, today is a qualifier, the final qualifier in February. So the individuals today in category 4, our standard category, it is a first prize of 2,160 AED for first, running to 432 AED for fifth. The team's classification, which kicks in next week with 3 riders' times out of a maximum of 5 riders on a team to count 10,800 AED in addition to that individual classification. Now we move up in terms of speed and power profiles when we go from category 4 to category 3. Category 3 will mean that if you take the win, 3,600 AED today, 720 for fifth, with the prizes spaced in between. And in the monthly final next week, which is going to be on the Paso Alto, subject to confirmation, 18,000 AED for the win, a huge sum. Now, category 3 is bigger than category 4. No prizes for guessing that category 2 prize money is bigger than category 3, with 6,000 AED for the win, running to 1,200 AED for the win in the individual classification. The team classification steps up to a whopping 30,000 AED for the win, 3,000 for fifth in category 2. Now, remember that team's classification next week is really critical, and that's one of the reasons why these riders are riding in teams now, getting that practice in on the tactics. Really, really is important, and it can be the difference going through. There are minimal numbers. We'll tell you about those numbers next week in the final, so please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel for that, because the teams adds a whole new dimension to this. Let's go to category 1. Category 1 is the top of the tree. The team classification is 50,000 AED for the win, 30,000 for second, 20,000 for third, 10,000 for fourth, and 5,000 AED for fifth. In addition to the individual classification, top prize, 10,000 AED. Now, time to bring back Emma's Exchange, because we have riders from all around the world. We try to give you an indication of what the 10,000 AED is in another currency. Whereabouts in the world are we going today, Emma?
We're going to Sweden.
Okay.
And in
I
Sweden,
don't know why I've gone on BBC.
No, I don't know, but Swedish krona is where we are going.
Excellent.
10,000 AED.
Yep.
Holding on to your hat. 28,478 Swedish krona. 50,000 AED, the team prize next week.
That's a big number.
142,391 Swedish krona as per my exchange rate right now.
So if your team wants to win that 142,391 Swedish krona...
Oh, I'm impressed you remembered that.
I didn't know, wrote it down. If you want your team to win that in category 1, then make sure you get your teams in. If you want to join us with a chance of any of this big prize pot, then please do jump on board and join our riders. You can see at the moment we're looking at, say, Safrazad, Karadine, Mia Hamalus, as well as Joy Kaluma, all in different places around the globe, all are riding on their various bikes, various machines in paint caves, in bedrooms, front rooms, wherever you are, out in the garage, outdoors, which we know certain riders do, then please do jump on board. Come and join us and make sure you download the rules, work out what you need to do for verification. This is every week we are bringing out massive prize funds to our riders. There are riders riding at the very top of the esports tree. These are the riders we're going to be seeing in the World Championships. And because of that, this is not just a turn up and ride. It's not, you're not racing for sweeties anymore. This is big. This is the big game. This is the Premier Series, and you need to be in it. So make sure you know what you need to do. Don't think you can just say Friday night, oh, do you know what? I fancy racing on Sunday. No. This in all of our categories, you need to do a little bit of prep work.
You do indeed, because entries close early on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go back to talking about teams, because we were talking there a little bit about teams, and you spoke about teams at the moment. And Ritzer, Graves, Spratt, Simmons, all in the mix there in Category 2. Now, Category 2 have the Wattage Warlocks, the Wattage Wizards, and the Wattage Race. Matt.
What I'm loving is that we're starting to see the evolution of the squad. So, Moritz Ritter at the moment on your screen. Moritz is not down for a team today, but if he's racing in the finals next week, I would imagine he's going to be on a team. They're going to be up against not one, but potentially 3 wattage teams.
Yeah.
the Warlocks, the Wizards, and the Wraiths. I'm not quite sure where they're going to go next with their Ws.
But it is,
However,
I'm liking the alliteration.
It is very good, isn't it? It's very good. The Wattage Warlocks, the Wattage Wizards, and the Wattage Wraiths. Now, the Wattage crew aren't just content with putting in 3 teams in here. They also are one of our teams that promote a community ride. So we have our Sunday Race Club, and we have various races on MyWhoosh on the platform, but we also have a lot of community-led events on there. And the Wattage guys do the same. Now, the Wattage ride is at 11:30 GMT, and if you're doing the maths, you'll know that is exactly at the end of this. It's there as a warm-down ride after the Sunday race.
Jump on, ask them about the race.
So jump on board, ask them about the race. They will have riders on there. It's at 11:30 GMT, so at the end of this, so if you're watching this live, jump on board with them. If you're watching this whilst you're racing and you want to have a chat with the guys, jump on board the Wattage ride. Now, they have got the bots out there, pace bots at 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 3 watts per kilo. So whatever pace you need to warm down in, there's a bot there to take you around at that pace, and it's about 30 minutes. So I suggest jumping on board with them and go out and ride with them. Ruben Don, that you see on the front at the moment, for the Wattage Wizards, one of those riders in that Wattage squad who's likely to be in there, as is Matthias Van He of the Wattage Warlocks. He's just in front of Don on your screens, the leading rider going through the lake as well. And a Bitco, the rider there, Jakob, in the Wattage race. So they do practice what they preach, not just riding on the Sunday Race Club, but they're also there putting the ride on afterwards.
And that is all about building that community, but not just building a community amongst the riders, building a community amongst the wider riding community on MyWhoosh, giving riders the opportunity to ask questions of the racing squads, but, you know, also about bringing other people on and in as well.
It is, and if you want to know why Michael Kaminsky and Ricardo Panizza and Zach Nair are currently nailing this at 17K, when the climb does not begin till 18.3K, you can ask them. You can jump on a ride. I've had the pleasure of going on a ride with Mr. X100 and SS 2 years ago.
I hope you've ridden with them since then.
I've not so much ridden with them, but in the same event, because they've got quicker and I've got slower. But yeah, it is your opportunity. You know, you can ride with the guys on here, and they're going to be out there. I've ridden with a number of these riders recently as well, and I have to say, it's a great way to get to know people. With Johan Noren on the climb of the Paso Alto, where we're going next week in our finals, and chatting with them about how they were riding, how they were finding it, where they wanted to, you know, and that insight, that community is really, really good. And we were at an event. We have been promoting events on esports since the start of COVID, which must mean the middle of 2020. We've done well, I've lost count of how many events we put on, and we've built a community, and that community supports each other, and we've curated it. I think it's probably a better word, because it's a community that really have driven that through with regular rides and then meeting up. We met in a random Sheffield restaurant with people. I don't think there was anybody who did the same profession as anybody else. There wasn't anybody who rode at the same level as anybody else. What they had in common was that they rode
and everybody
on esports.
And what always gets me is when you do meet in real life after you've been riding on an esports platform, is that you feel you know that person, but you may never, ever have met them in real life.
And that is quite an incredible thing, and that is what has brought us from around the world in all of our races, all of our race categories together. Now, starting to see the riders coming into the next key part of the race. Here, we're at 27.2K. We are between the Eichenberg Hill and the Eichenberg Climb. Category 3 are about to catch Category 4 riders in front. So this is going to get really interesting as these groups come together. We had just seen coming onto the Valkenburg, which is not that far behind the Category 1 leaders hitting the base of the Valkenburg.
Look at the size. I'm sorry, Matt, but look at the size of that Category 3 group.
It's huge.
And there's 30 riders ahead of them in Category 4 still.
And they are catching groups, not just individuals. They're not catching the very leaders of Category 4, but they are coming up onto a group. Now, if you are not an esports rider and you're watching this and you're one of our fantastic viewers, this is where you will know, because you'll have seen this. it could get really, really messy because they're going to hit them on the climb. They're coming onto the base of the climb. Category 3 are about to catch a group of Category 4 riders. Now watch the sweep through. It's a brilliant camera angle. Fantastic direction, guys. Internal memo. Brilliant direction. We're coming up into the top. We're coming into this climb. Category 3 are working the way through here. Now, if you're smart, you're going to take advantage. You're going to attack going through here. As we make our way through the maple leaves here, through the red foliage above, we're still seeing that Category 3 move through. The blue has filtered its way through the red. The red riders of Category 4 are going to try and hang on. But because they've been caught on a climb, that is much, much harder than if they've been caught on a descent or on a flat section of the route. So Category 3 have come to the fore. Has anybody not made it? Well, we will find out shortly. We're with Category 1 as they come to the top of the second categorized climb, the Valkenberg. We go over the top of the Valkenberg. We're seeing a big dig go in from SS, who holds the jersey in the green sprints competition in that skin suit. I think Lionel Rujassin has taken enough points to hold the polka dot. He has. Will he be the fastest rider up there? We will have to see, because remember, the snapshot, each of these points competitions are based on the points over each climb, and we've just seen them leave another Category 1 rider behind. Take us through the results for the climb here, Emma, please.
Yeah, well, so SS setting the fastest time up the Valkenberg. 2 minutes 10 seconds, just half a second behind Bjorkland X100, Plantre, Dahn, Jakobsner, Safrazadi, Popovic, really motoring on today. 1 second separating those 9 riders. Well, for me, that is all about the bunch. That is all about the bunch staying together. And in Category 1, look how tightly packed those riders are.
All in the draft. So if you're new to MyWhoosh, welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. It's qualifier race number 3. Our format is that we have qualifiers on every Sunday except for the last Sunday of the month, which is our finals. You need to qualify with 2 qualifying rides to make it into the final. Our riders race in 4 categories. Category 4 in red, Category 3 in blue, Category 2 in green, and Category 1 in yellow. Our riders are racing for top 5 prizes, but they're also racing to see if they can beat their fellow riders that they race week in, week out. All the results are on the MyWhoosh website. It's mywhoosh.com, and you'll find the results on there, as well as links to everything from workouts through to how to connect your turbo trainer, how to get your second power data source on there. There's lots of links to the videos as well. Do make sure you subscribe to the MyWhoosh YouTube channel, the MyWhoosh Twitch TV feed. The YouTube channel's got a lot more history on there, and there's some great videos from Jeff and all of the gang, with some great explainer videos on there as well of how to connect that second power meter if you want that second data source you want to come and race on here, whether you want to personalize your avatar. The new UAE kit's out, so you can put that onto your avatar.
And now is a great time to get on board and take a look about the Sunday Race Club, particularly if you're wanting to join us in March. Can't believe I'm just about to say that.
Yes.
In March, because this is the last qualifier for February, the last opportunity to qualify for the final. The final is next week. Then we will start again with qualifier 1 in March. So it's 2 weeks opportunity to get on board, find your feet, get your verification, do your power passport test, and join us on the start line in March.
That's quite scary. I was looking back at the numbers. I realised that I've been talking about our Sunday Race Club in the last 12 months alone, all the way through, except for once when I was at the World Championships in, where were we? Tabor. In the cyclocross. I had to think about that then, as you can tell. But yeah, that was the only one I missed. It feels like I'm, part of the community. I have to say, I'm very proud to be part of the community, because I get to watch amazing racing with amazing riders and work with some very amazing people, both here in the studio and behind the scenes. So please do come and join us. Subscribe, follow, jump on board. Come and join us. Jump on board and ride. Get on qualifying number 1. Get some of these courses ridden, whether you're going to ride in the New Worlds, whether you're going to go take on the endurance climb, whatever you want out of it. It's such a wide-ranging platform with so many opportunities now. do jump on board, join the community, watch it grow with us. I've had the pleasure of watching it grow for the last 2 years, putting words to the action. It's been absolutely fantastic to see the riders improving, getting better and better and better. The game improving, and all of the platform really, really developing. So please do join us on the journey. There's lots more to come, believe me. There's some very exciting things in the pipeline, not just the esports World Championships, which is coming up in the end of October.
It is indeed, and lots of information starting to filter out through podcasts and other routes in relation to that information. And I believe there may well be another podcast landing today with further information around the Worlds from the UCI and MyWhoosh. And I do believe that Zach Nair, one of the riders in that Category 1 pack at the moment, a guest on that podcast.
Now, would that be the Virtual Fellow podcast, if I remember correctly? I think that may well be. I've got to remember the words correctly here because it's so that I'm a podcast addict, absolute podcast addict. I hold my hands up. Hello, I'm Matt. I'm addicted to podcasts. Because I listen to so many different things and lots of different cycling disciplines. So while Sarah melts down the other side of the studio, she knows it's true. Also coffee, but mostly podcasts at the moment. I have to say, it's a great podcast out there. Have a listen. Great source of information as well. Now, I do believe that if it's the episode I think that's likely to land, that's going to have David Lepatillon, who is one of the key people when it comes to it. In fact, he's the president of the UCI, the Union Cycliste Internationale. You'll see the UCI banners over the top of the course because MyWhoosh is the UCI partner. In fact, you see them at the side of the road here. The UCI partner for esports for 2024, 25, 26. That means that we get to ride on the courses that replicate the worlds. We get also have the world championships on here. We like to see qualifiers on here, and that's all going to be developing as we speak. A lot of the vision of that driven by Michael Rogers. You'll remember him as ex-pro Michael Rogers from the UCI. So lots more information coming out. Follow MyWhoosh on social media. It's at MyWhoosh on Instagram, on Facebook for that. Follow our riders. They need your support. The more support you give them, the more they can do this. It's really, really important. If you like Arnie Jacobs' number wall in front of him, get on to Instagram, find Arnie, and tell him so. Let him know. That is a
He's
great
like,
number
no,
board.
I don't want everybody
there you go.
getting in contact with
He's
me.
giving us a wave and everything, which is fantastic to
Oh,
see.
maybe he does.
Excellent.
But
there
I have
we go.
to say, I also like the fact that he's got all those race numbers in
the
front
number
of him.
board is brilliant,
In
isn't it?
my pain cave, all my race numbers are behind me.
Oh, now, which is more motivational? You put those races behind you and you're looking forward or not? I don't know. Maybe it's because yours has got a soundproof studio directly in front of it. Okay, so we're back on the race course. Let's go back down to some racing into Category 2. A fragmented group. You can see that bottom left-hand side of your screen in green. And Nicholas Spratt at the moment leading out from Phil Graves on here. The power is going down here. We're seeing them moving up to 9 watts per kilo. I bet Phil doesn't look as good in that studio as he did at the start of the race. If he's putting down 9 watts per kilo.
Tell you something, he's working hard.
He is working hard here. Now, we've known Phil Graves go on suicidal long. You know, like when you watch the Tour de France and it's like an 8-hour stage through the forest of Bordeaux with like a dead straight road for 5 of them. Phil Graves is the sort of rider who'd go on attack at kilometre 0 normally.
Yes, he'd be out front all day as well.
He probably, to the last 200 metres and he'd blow his socks off.
He'd be getting TV time for his team, and that is what he's doing today.
Well, I don't know. Do you know what? He's still sat there looking pretty cool as a cucumber down there on the right-hand side of the two, right? So Phil Graves in the all black. We've got Ollie Jones with the white headband on there. Graves out of the saddle. You can just see, and compare now the rider with the avatar. Graves out of the saddle, stamping down on the pedal, sits back down again, putting down the watts here. The contrast really interesting to see. Graves with the aero helmet. He's the rider at the back of these three now, and he's having to work to stay with them. He keeps lifting himself out of the saddle, putting more power down, using that body weight. It's more expensive in terms of power, though.
Well, I'll tell you, they've got 8 seconds now on the chase group. Trosjanowski, Betty, Coinston, and Bjarhed and Ritter. That is a class chase group in this Category 2 race. These 3 riders riders need to get up and over the climb. It's currently 7.3%, 7.4%, but they are nearly there. They just need to keep working. Now, one rider who is working is Nick Squilari in Category 3. Take a look at that gap. It's 12 seconds that he has on the chasing group, but it's a big chasing group behind. I'll tell you, Matt, 34 kilometres into this race. On the transition between the Eichenberg climb and the Quermont. Once up the Quermont, then the Passenberg comes in quick succession, and then that climb to the finish.
You took the words right out of my mouth there. It's almost exactly what I was going to
say. It's a fabulous place to attack, I tell you. Got his timing to perfection, I think.
And he's continuing to accelerate. It's 14 seconds now, and it's growing.
Yeah.
He's coming in. And when we hit the Quermont at 36.6k, you've got the climb of the Quermont, which is steep. You drop down, but there's virtually no flat then as we run into the Passenberg climb. Then the longest flat section actually is between the top of the Passenberg and the last 500 meters or so into that finish, where it starts steeper than it starts to level out. Very difficult finish. Now, when we talk about a technical finish, a difficult finish, it's not because you've got to steer and brake and get around the base, because you've got those changes in gradient and the change in the amount of power that is having to be put down to stay clear. Nick Scolari is looking very focused here. You can just see him on those lever hoods there, Emma. He's just resting down. You can tell he spends a little bit of time outside as well. He's got some proper cycling tan lines on as well, going on the go there as well.
Well, I'll tell you something, Matt is continuing to push and continuing to push hard. A little bit of a rise at the moment on this transition. He's up and out the saddle.
Come on,
and
Mick.
Really pushing. He wants to maintain that gap. He's giving himself 20 seconds at the moment to that group. This could be a race-winning move.
It's a brave move, and I absolutely love a brave rider. Now they're starting to react behind. They were sitting at 2-3 watts per kilo at one point, and they're now up to 5.8, 5.9. We're seeing 8.6.
And Moreno's asking for help there.
I'm not surprised he's asking that little emote there as you just go down. If you're riding, you can click on it. You can put up. I'm tired. You can put up time to take a turn. You can do a Usain Bolt lightning job, whatever you want. But that taking a turn is universal. It's like flicking your elbow in a road race or on the track. Come through, take a turn. Oviedo at the moment in this group, they know they need to bring him back. That is a dangerous move. 20 seconds has gone. They've given that away. Nick Scolari has decided to go. They've backed off. He's pushed on, and that means it's accelerated up. This group now have to work because they will run out of road very quickly if they're not careful.
I'm just feeling a little bit of jealousy for the sunshine in Oviedo's picture. Being based in the northern hemisphere at the moment, I haven't seen sunshine like that for a long time.
Not just because we're locked down in the full speed events. You just do catch up and keep up with what Emma is doing at biking. Emma and myself at Matt Fix Paying, bringing a lot of the coverage, not just on esports, but across a lot of the UCI channels as well. Multi-disciplines, multi-world championships. And don't forget the UCI esports world championships coming with these riders. It's going to be coming in October. I cannot wait.
No, talking about multi times this climb has been used in the Tour of Flanders. 40 times the Eichenberg climb's been used between 1956 and 2015. This group are on the slopes now, and it's Syed Safrazadeh who is the rider pushing on at the front, being marked by Kaminsky, Vujassin, SS, Jones and Nair. They are all in the mix, and no one wants to let him go.
And quite rightly so. Dangerous rider that they know has got power. He's got kick. He has that explosivity that are required to kick clear here. He's working hard. You can see that left-hand side of your screen. So he's focused on the game. He'll have the courage on the other side. He'll also have communication if he's working with other riders in here. And at the moment, he's working very hard. This group is breaking again. You can see riders disappearing off the back left-hand side of your screen. There are one or two riders in trouble, and now it's Michael Kaminsky who's leading them up. He's going to kick up to the top of this slope, and if he continues to power over the top, anybody who has been distanced, he's not going to get back on again here. He will want riders with him. He won't want to go solo,
well,
though,
I
surely.
tell you something, Matt, he's going to be a marked man. They are not going to let him go. He's been on such form. They are. I can imagine there's like a little alarm going off behind our riders at the moment. Do not let him go. Do not let him go. They are absolutely going to be marking Kaminsky like nothing.
And this is part of the issue, isn't it? When you get to Category 1, you are up against the best riders in the world, the best esports riders. You don't get here by chance. You don't get here because you're some joker who thinks you can have a go. You are here because you've earned it, because you have produced those numbers. You have verified that your power is able to be produced, that it's you who's doing it, and you are good. We got line over Justin Safazzetti and Michael Kaminsky in here. They are absolutely class, and you can see the Justin kicking over the top there. I tell you something, that looked like that was a big kick, and they have broken a fair few riders off the back here, and they're going to be wondering who's left in the group. What is the composition in here? We've got Nair in here, Popovic, Vujasin in here, Kaminsky, Jones in here, Vanden Eekhout is in here, Plantero is just about in here. Looks like he's made that as well. As they came up the climb, look how close they are.
Well, I can tell you something. They've gone from 18 riders to 13 riders in the leading group in the Category 1 race. Is indeed Kaminsky going over the top, 2 minutes 51 seconds. Popovic, Jones, Jacobs, Vujasin, Van Els, Panizza, Safrazadi, Plantero, Nair, Vanden Eekhout, SS, and Jochems.
Okay, so they are the riders coming over at the top, and you can see the top 9 there separated by next to nothing in terms of time. That was Category 1. This is Category 3 in the red.
This is a race course that just keeps giving.
It is. In the red is Category 4. So Category 3 on the way through. Category 4 in the red are being caught and being passed. But remember, we saw the move off the front. We have one rider clear at the front. He's still there. Cadiz is chasing in this group. He's using the advantage of coming through them. But these are not our leaders in Category 4. And it means that the pushers come in front. So Category 4 now being mixed up with Category 3. And where you are caught is going to be key here. The riders at 37.5k are part way up the Claremont. There's a slight easing here. Is where Nick Scolari is. Brilliant timing, Nick. Well done, buddy. So Nick is just on the slight easing here. It's 0.5%. It's still there, but it's not huge.
You cannot see the rest of that Category 3 field behind him. He is now 30 seconds clear. He's got Jeff Rooney from Cat 44 Company, but they're continuing to push here. Scolari. Now, we said this break could be the race-winning move, and I think potentially it is. The Claremont, the longest cobbled climb in the Tour of Flanders, but there's no cobbles here because this is MyWhoosh.
So here on MyWhoosh, Nick Scolari chasing his way through. He's chasing Kalman, Columbari, Quadrelli. They are the riders at the front of Category 4. 3 riders clear in Category 4. Then we have them in 1s and 2s, 3s until you get down to Nick Scolari. Scolari is catching riders at a pace. And Jeff Rooney's doing a great job here at staying with the Category 3 rider. He's doing a great job. He's holding this. He knows, though, that if he can stay with Scolari till he gets to the top here, he can take advantage and maybe use Scolari's draft to take him through back towards the leaders who are about to hit the summit here of the Claremont climb at 38.8k. They're only about 250, 300 meters in front. And if they can work with Scolari, so if we see Rooney working with him, if we see Caro working with him, that will aid Scolari and it will aid Rooney and Caro.
Well, that's the polka dot banner signifying the end of the climb. That is going to be the end of the Claremont. One more categorized climb to go. The Papenburg coming up very, very shortly, and then the run into the finish line. Now, Matt, the Papenburg, it's got to be my favourite climb on the Tour of Flanders, because if you don't have a race course going past your front door, build one.
Yes, I quite like the fact that it was built by the farmer just because his neighbouring farmer had a cobble climb going up past him that they raced up. So he decided, what the heck, I'll build my own. Maybe, well, we can't quite do that.
Don't wait for the world to come to you. Take yourself to the world.
or go down and watch some great racing. There's amazing racing down in the countries down in the Gulf at the moment, because we've had the Lunar Tour, we've got the Tour of Oman's been on, we've got the UAE Tour as well. Some amazing races, great pictures, mountain bike racing down there as well. Good friend of ours, Dan Jarvis, out there with Antoma Crossan as well. Lots of great riding going on all the way out and around the UAE, and some amazing, I mean, we've seen a change, because this is really the season where all these disciplines all start to change all around the world, and great racing here on esports, which is all year round.
I was about to say, all you need to do on a Sunday is get your coffee pot on, sit down on the sofa and put this on, because boy, are we being treated to some great racing today. You can see on the right-hand side of your screen, that is the leading group in the Category 2 race. They are coming up for 36 kilometres of this 45-kilometre race. And on the right-hand side of your screen, that is the front of the Category 1 race. And there looks to be a bit of a gap, Matt.
I think we have got an ever-evolving situation in Category 1 and in Category 2 here. Very, very intriguing to see what's going on between them at the moment, because Category 1 are working hard here. They're really, really pushing. I mean, you can see Michael Kaminsky, 6.5 watts per kilo. Really interesting story in here. And Category 2 is by no means over, and this is not decided.
Look at the push.
It's serious big dig here. I mean, Zach Nair's on his heels. Zach, I think, is also a member. He's got a guest on the Virtual Velo podcast as well. So catch up with Zach on there. So do have a listen.
1, 2, 3.
Only after you finish watching the show, of course. Do jump on board. Tell us what you think. We always love to hear your comments on the way through. Emma, you've been doing some analysis in here. What's happening?
Well, what is happening is the fact that we've got a breakaway here in this Category 1 race. 5 riders clear. That Cam Winfield, the young Cat 2 rider, is sat in that pack as well. But they are now 17 seconds clear of the chase group. Jones, Plantero, Van den Eekhout, Jacobs, Panizza, are all in that chase group. And then it's looking like there is another split back to SS et al. So it's looking like now what we're seeing is that leading group in the Category 1 race now split into 3 across this race field. And Jones here now pushing on. He is 17 seconds behind the leading group, and he's got 2 teammates up there in Vujasin and Kaminsky.
If you weren't here for the early part of the show, it's no surprise not to see Michael Knudsen, somebody who I know a lot of people like to watch and follow, not here at the front. Michael Knudsen did an epic ride yesterday, 232 kilometers, I think, 9,999 meters or something crazy of ascent. Absolute barn pot. There's no, he is an absolute, anybody who does those kind of distances needs an absolute medal. Now, this group of chasers doesn't contain, does it? I think he's probably putting around at the back somewhere, taking it steady. Steady down. Don't blame him after that ride. These guys are not taking it steady. Good to see Michael Plantero up here from France. One of our regular riders. He's part of that paint-toasted squad. And he's putting in a good ride here today.
Well, he rode well on this course last time, you know.
I think it suits his style of riding. This, you know, I absolutely love this. It's power. It's like, you know, the Corsica is the longest one. It's 6 minutes. You know, it's not a 20-minute, 30-minute boredom climb. This is full-on power.
Matt has just shown his true colours. Boredom climbs. Well,
oh, come on. You know, you just sit there and, well, I just sit there and suffer. You might not, but
I
do.
Well, these climbs, you know, after we get past Corsica, these climbs around 2 minutes in length for the Category 1 riders. So they are indeed that level where the sprinters and the climbers can really come together.
Now, we're going to take a look down at the bottom of our screens here. Hope you're going to join me, because we're looking at Category 4. Our leaders here. Oh, look at that. As if by magic. So Columbari and Quadrelli out at the front. They're on the right-hand side of your screen. The chasers are on the left-hand side of your screen. They have got Nick Squilari, the leader in Category 3, with them as well. That means that this is going to be almost a pursuit race to the finish. A quick reminder, we finish at 45k. The riders at the moment are on the Patternberg, but this is not the last piece of climbing. You can see top right-hand side of both screens, that profile. The riders are on the Patternberg. It then levels off And then we have the run for the line, which has got a steep kick on the way into it, just to finish off the legs, as if all these Mers, all the bergs, all the climbing was not enough.
And let's just mention the Pattenberg climb. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16% they will have under their wheels.
And they come out of that onto the flat where it levels out, where you can make big time if you continue to push, but you've got to have the power. Now, Colin Barry at the moment leading from Quadrelli, who's just a little bit distant to go through the Pattenberg climb. He goes onto the flat. Can he pick the pace up? He's kicking here, but he's eased off. Oh, now that's
he's
dangerous.
Waiting for Quadrelli, but Quadrelli has got a phenomenal sprint. If you think back to the MyWhoosh Championships, Enrico Quadrelli can push.
He can push, and I'm not sure whether that was a weight or whether that was a slipped gear. As you go over the top of the climb, you change into a big gear. You change it into something that you can get loads of power out. You sometimes have to ease off a little. Maybe he's gone from his little chainring on the bike to the big chainring, where you have to ease off the power a little to put it up there. He dropped power and he lost time because of that. Now Quadrelli's onto his heels here, so it's Columbari with Quadrelli chasing here. They're on the way in. We are at 43.7k of 45 kilometers covered. Do not discount Kalman, who has managed to start the bridge across, 15 seconds down. And behind Kalman, who we've got on our screens now, we have got Squilari coming. He's a leader in category 3. He's been chased by Barra, who is on his way up as well. But Squilari is bringing across a group of riders as well. This is going to be really tricky to stay clear. They've got to keep the power on. They're about to hit the next climbing section. They come across the bridge and they come across with the moat to the side. They're going to take the right-hand bend here, and they've got to keep on pushing. They cannot afford to back off, and that is going to make this sprint even more difficult because they cannot rest then kick. They've got to keep squeezing. So Columbari in the red, Quadrelli in the polka dot of the best climb of the day. Who's going to take away the yellow jersey of our winner here on the road? Category 4 may just about stay clear. I suspect they will, because we are now into 600 meters to go.
Well, 600 meters to go, and it's Columbari and Quadrelli. Quadrelli is in the polka dot skin suit. Columbari is resplendent in that red jersey. These two riders absolutely neck and neck at the moment. Who is going to kick? Who has got the legs for the win? They're clear of third place. I think it's these two into the finish mat.
Here we go. Here comes the push. It's coming from Columbari first. He's up at 5.7 watts per kilo. Can Quadrelli answer him? He's diving into the power now. He's gone into the red and he's on his heels. He comes on the left-hand side, but there's an answer by Columbari. You're not coming past me. You think you've got it? Oh, no, it's not over, because here he comes again. Quadrelli's gone for another dig. How many times can they kick? Who's going to put in the final move? Columbari has kicked again, and he's going to take this surely now. Fluvio Columbari wins qualifier number 3 on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. Enrico Quadrelli in 2 is going to be the winner of category 3 immediately behind Nick Squilari. With that brave move, has stayed clear. He's held them all off behind. He almost caught everybody. It's going to be a winning category 3. He's the third man over the line. Nick Squilari, what a ride. Behind Matthews Kalman's going to come through for what is going to be a third place in category 4. It's going to be a push from Kochikov to come through second place in category 3. Third place in category 3 should be Sergio Hoyos, just clear of a bunch. Thank you, Sergio. I was hoping they didn't quite catch there. Wow. So we have so far 2 categories in, category 4 and category 3 complete. In terms of our leaders, if you're out there racing, guys, keep on pushing. No hill goes on forever, particularly in Belgium. They're short, they're steep, but you will be able to spin down. Don't forget, jump on the wattage Wizards ride. Your warm down is super important. Now,
Matt's about to catch his breath while we take a look at our category 1 riders on the left-hand side of your screen. 38.9 kilometres into this race. And on the right-hand screen at 42 kilometres, that's the leaders in the category 2 race, Nicholas Spratt and Philip Graves. They've got 35 seconds on what seems to be a huge chase group. Well, the chase group is coming in the Category 2 race. In the Category 1 race, well, Zach Nair currently pushing at the moment. So Nair 5 seconds back from Kaminsky, Safrazad, Popovic and Vujasin. He's been broken from that group of 5. That group now looking like a group of 4. Can Nair get back on?
And this is where it's going to be critical. He will not want to drop out of the top 5. He knows he still has over 5 kilometers to go. He's at 5 seconds, 5K.
I bet, yeah, if he had 5 seconds to go, he'd be very happy.
Well, no, but he wouldn't have enough time to get back. And that's what
true.
I think. If he keeps his effort, he's got to put in a big effort. So will he be able to make that effort? Will he be able to get clear? Zach Nair is chasing. That's the man on your screens at the moment. But look at this. The group behind him is a big one. We currently have what is looking like 6 riders who are going to make their way along this course in pursuit. You've got Ollie Jones, Bart van der Niekerk, Michael Plantero, Stefan van Elst. We've got in the group Panizza as well. Arnie Jacobs is in there, and they are about to come up on the wheel of Henry East. East at the moment, the Category 2 rider who's about to benefit from this group coming up onto him. Can he take advantage of this and use them to propel him forward? It will help him close down the gaps on the riders in front. And you can see Henry's in the green here, quickly up to speed and working with them.
Well, what's really interesting here, Matt, is we've got 4 riders out front. We've got Zach Nair in the middle and then 6 riders chasing at the moment. 5 kilometers left to go in that Cat 1 race. Well, there's 1,900 meters left to go in this Category 2 race as Spratt and Graves tap their way up the top of the Passenberg climb. That polka dot banner they can see, that's the end of the Passenberg segment.
And they have it in sight, as do the chasers behind.
Look at the size of that chasing group. It is huge.
It's massive, but Koivunen doesn't want to be in it. He wants to go clear. He's now coming up towards that banner as well. In front of him, you've got Graves and Spratt. That is one race. Behind what looked like it was a separate race at nearly 20 seconds at one point, it has come down because Koivunen goes over. Behind him, Bjarhead, Mendakowicz, Don, Ospina, Bengtsson and co. That big chasing packer on their way. And at the moment, Koivunen does not want to be involved in the sprint with them. He's 2 seconds, but they are giving best at the moment to Phil Graves and Nicholas Spratt. These two have broken away previously before together. They can work together. We know that they're very good. Spratt is a good breakaway rider.
They normally ride on the same team, Matt.
They have done very many times in the final.
They have indeed, as they both now sweep into the run to the finish. They have got 1.2 kilometres to go. That's the gateway to the city. It's going to be a fast and furious last 1,000 metres because they are 15 seconds clear, but Koivunen is coming hard behind.
17 seconds, the gap to Koivunen. Koivunen's trying to get up to Graves, up to Spratt. Graves now winding this up. Now, 2 ways of taking this. You can go on the climb that's coming around this right-hand bend. If you kick on that gradient, you could open up enough of a gap, but because it is a long run from there to the actual finish line, we see people come back. Spratt at the moment is sitting second wheel. You're in with him now. We are seeing the gap to Graves. Graves track sprinting, looking over his shoulder at the moment, and here comes Spratt. Spratt rolls in on towards the wheel of Graves. Graves is matching him though, but Spratt's lifted it. I think Spratt has a little bit more on this climb. They're going to come together and they cannot hesitate because Tatu Koivunen's at 20 seconds behind. Here he comes. The leaders are 11 seconds in front. If they hesitate, they're in trouble. If he hesitates, he's going to get caught by the big pack behind. This is about drag stripping it to the finish and then hoping you've got a kick. 6.5 watts a kilo coming out from Phil Graves. He's down in the MyWhoosh HQ studios at the moment. They're going to be witnessing a fantastic finish from him here. Has he done enough to hold off Spratt? Spratt is right behind him. Don't be fooled that Spratt's not on camera. We've seen riders jump in through. did 4. Has Nicholas Spratt got anything? He's at 6 watts per kilo. Now he comes. Now he's onto the wheel. He moves to the left. Graves is answering this. They're both winding this up. They're now up to 6.5, nearly 7 watts per kilo. They both drop. They kick again. Spratt at the moment with the vents in his helmet is not able to answer Graves. Graves is going to come. He holds on to the line. That is surely going to be a photo finish. What a ride through. Graves takes it from Spratt by 3/10 of a second. In fact, less than 3/10 of a second. They are your 1-2 going in and through the line. Ruben Dunn going through to take third. Tattoo Coiston taking fourth, being caught in the last few 100 meters. That's your category 2. So we've got categories 4, 3, and 2 in. This is category 1. They are up the Pattenberg for the last time. These are your leaders. Pablo Popovic, Said Safrazedi. We've got in the group Lionel Vujasic and Michael Kaminsky in here. Kaminsky is the rider with the polka dot skin suit on here. The rider with the white helmet on coming on the right-hand side, just dropping to the back now, I think is going to coming on the right. I'm trying to catch who that is. Is that Vujasic with the white helmet? I think it is.
Just taking a little
I think it is.
At the moment, we can see the riders. Pablo Popovic is in here. Vujasic, Kaminsky, and Safrazade. Nair now 26 seconds back. Jones et al. The main group over 50 seconds back now as these 4 riders take the run in. They've got 1.1 kilometers to go until they see the finish line. They're coming underneath the entrance to the city. This is going to be a 4-up sprint. Who's going to take it out first? Said Safrazad has kicked at 10 watts per kilo. This is a massive run for the finish line early today.
This is almost Ekimov-esque in his attack from the start. The man who is known as the World Pursuit Champion, who used to go clear with 1K to go. He would put in such a big effort he could go clear. Is that what we're seeing here from Said Safrazedi? He's gone for this. Behind him, you can see the gaps are starting to open. He's got to be answered, and he's got to be answered quick here. We are on the climb. This will be over in the blink of a second, and we're going to be taking that left turn.
Well, it's Kaminsky, Matt. Kaminsky has responded.
He's gone over the top. Michael Kaminsky goes over the top of Safrazedi. Zedi's answering him. They're kicking. They're mixed in with category 2 riders just to add to the confusion for the riders here. But Michael Kaminsky is burying himself on the way to the line. He's trying to stay clear. Safrazedi's on his heels. Can he pull him back? He can't. His legs have fallen off. I've just seen 5 watts per kilo for Safrazedi. He's been passed by Popovic, and Popovic is now trying to close down Kaminsky. Kaminsky on the run to the line. Category 1 race winner, Mikhail Kaminsky, goes through. The Coalition Alpha Jaw squad take the win here today. What a ride. He goes clear of Pablo Popovic. Said Safrazedi comes in. He goes for a 3rd place in your category 1 as the riders continue into the line. Lionel Vujasic making it 4th place. It's going to be a 5th place here today. Zach Nair tried to stay with the leaders all the way, and he was just distanced in the last few climbs. What a run to the finish. Absolutely fantastic riding by all of our riders here today. It's going to be a 5th place for Zach Nair on his way in to the finish here underneath the UCI banner. The finish line in Ghent City here in Belgium. And of course, you can come out and ride on MyWhoosh. Jump onto mywhoosh.com, download the app, jump on board, join Stefan van Elst, the rider who's making his way towards the line in what should be, if my maths is correct, 6th place.
Well, Van Elst coming through for 6th. Jones sprinting for 7th. Plantero in there as well. In fact, this is the sprint of the remaining group in that category 1 race. But interesting to see, Matt, it is a reversal of last week with Kaminsky taking 1st, Popovic taking 2nd, Safrazedi taking another 3rd place.
And very different course in lots of ways, because I think last week were we not on the Wollongong circuit with the climbs of Wollongong to finish off the riders. There are only 3 riders. It was a mountain top finish here today. We have seen 7 great climbs of classic Flanders territory, with Michael Kaminsky taking the win from Pablo Popovic. Said Safrazad in 3rd, Lionel Vujasic in 4th, there in 5th. Van Elst, Van den Eekhout, Ollie Jones, Plantero are dropping you down to the bottom of the top 9 here today in Belgium for men's qualifier number 3. The full results in all of our categories will be on MyWhoosh.com.
Yeah, just a quick reminder, it was Graves, Spratt and Dont in category 2, 1, 2, 3. Squilari, Kochkov and Hoyas in cat 3, Columbari, Quadrelli and Cowman in cat 4.
As we see the run for the line final sprint in, Yodi Jochum's coming in just ahead of Mr. X100. He's going to be followed by the sprint winner today. That is SS, who makes his way underneath the line here in Belgium. They need to get themselves recovered and composed, ready for our finals that are coming up next week. We're going to head to the Passo Alto, subject, of course, to confirmation on there. But our insider information is, thank you very much, to the team who passed it on, that we're heading for the Passo Alto. I hope you're going to join us here and to bring the action to you. It will be the amazing team behind the scenes at MyWhoosh. Joining me in the studio will be Emma Martin. Where can people follow you on social media?
Oh, well, you can find me at Biking Emma on Instagram and X.
And you can find me, it's at Matt Fixer Payne on pretty much anywhere that social media seems to exist. Or so I think when I'm looking at my feed. Make sure you follow MyWhoosh. It's at MyWhoosh. Do get in touch with us, with the team at MyWhoosh. Let us know what you've enjoyed, where you want to head to maybe next, and what you're looking forward to. Subscribe to the channel. The more follow subscribers we have, the more we can bring you the coverage. Thank you so much for watching. Please do join us for the finals next week. But from myself, from Emma, and from all of the team at MyWhoosh, stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Goodbye.